Now, when President Trump announced that he was going to be pulling out, or the United States was going to be pulling out of the Iran nuclear deal, which is basically a violation of that deal, I was pretty concerned that this could lead to an escalation of arms and conflict in the Middle East. In fact, I was also worried that we were going to invade Iran, and, well, that remains to be seen. There's a lot of neocons that are in the administration right now. In fact, Donald Trump is surrounded by neocons. John Bolton, Mike Pompeo, all these people that are probably very, very much open to war with Iran. So, wonderful, I thought. This is going to go very, very well, pulling out of the Iran deal. And now we have another side effect of that, other than, obviously, the impending specter of war and increasing gas prices, etc. Now we have a Middle Eastern arms race. Oh boy. Now, Saudi Arabia, according to Agence France-Presse, said on Wednesday that it would seek to acquire a nuclear weapon if Iran does the same thing. They reported that Saudi Foreign Minister Adel al-Jubeir said on Wednesday that the country would do everything we can to build a nuclear bomb in that situation. To which I say, fucking wonderful. It has begun. Now, look, it's important to note that Saudi Arabia was, along with Israel, not a fan of this deal, right? So they weren't a fan of the nuclear deal, which, of course, sought to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. But, you know, look, they're geopolitical foes in the area, so they're two completely different strains of fundamentalist Islam. So it's not a surprise that they don't get along. And so any peace deal, anything that's good in the region, well, that just happens to piss off Saudi Arabia for some odd reason. Now, their declaration follows Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah al-Khamenei suggesting that Iran could ramp up its nuclear program now that the sanctions from America will end up going back into place because of our exit from the deal. Now, look, our part of the sanctions, while significant, actually isn't a part of the bigger package. Most of the economic relief actually comes from Europe and them rolling back their sanctions. Nonetheless, Iran is not happy with us exiting the deal and has said, look, we're thinking about not pulling up our end of the deal. We're thinking about pulling out completely now that America has violated the nuclear agreement, which is essentially what's happened, right? Now, this is a potential disaster, okay? For one, the nuclear deal was there to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. Why would Iran want a nuclear weapon to prevent America from invading Iran? It's not like we don't have a history of fucking with that country. After all, the CIA backed a coup against the Shah, the democratically elected government of Iran. So when that happened, of course, we overthrew them. We put a puppet government in there, and of course, the people were not happy about this, and they ended up, of course, overthrowing that government and installing the fundamentalist government that we have today. So we fucked up the whole region. Okay, we fucked up Iran, and we've been enemies pretty much ever since. 2015, we actually got a pretty goddamn good deal. So it's actually one of the best deals that we could get with somebody who was our enemy. After all, like, you don't make peace deals with your friends. No, you make peace deals with your enemies. And as far as what we got from the deal, we got a lot. We didn't have to give anything either. Okay? In fact, we didn't give them money. The right wing loves to report this. Oh my God, look at all the billions of dollars we just gave a state sponsor of terror. When in reality, that's their money that we froze. We froze their money. We took that money. We essentially stole it. And part of the deal was giving some of that money back. And so, okay, well, it's not our money. It's your money. We're actually going to give some of that money back to you. And we're going to ease off on some of our sanctions. That's what we did. And in return, we had unprecedented access into their nuclear facilities that we could go and inspect whenever we needed to, whenever we had probable cause that there is that they're building or a nuclear weapon. They're doing something that they're not supposed to. We could go in and send investigators in there pretty much at any time. Unprecedented access. And not only that, but they sold off, 97% of their uranium, got rid of most of their centrifuges, all that stuff. And then they promised to have a commercial nuclear energy program and not a nuclear weapons program. So all that stuff, that's in the deal. It's a damn good deal. But no, what do we have to do? We fucking had to blow it up. So now we face a possibility of a nuclear-armed Iran, which is a fundamentalist country. That's bad enough as it is. And now a possible nuclear-armed Saudi Arabia, which is also a fundamentalist country, with a different strain of fundamentalist Islam. This time it's Wahhabism. Now, Saudi Arabia has been spreading fundamentalist Islam all over the Middle East and helping, of course, to spread terrorism. The same terrorism that America's like, we have to fight against. We have to fight this terrorism. We have to go after these terrorists and all that stuff. So, but no, we're supporting a country that encourages terrorism, that is a state sponsor of terrorism. Just a different kind of terrorism. So great, wonderful. So that's what we happen. That's what's happening right now. And look, right now Saudi Arabia is in the middle of bombing Yemen, which is causing numerous civilian casualties. So, and they're doing that with our money. They're doing that with our weapons. So that's fun. Now that country is going to possibly get nukes. Wonderful. I mean, look, these Neanderthals in the right wing, these neoconservatives who believe in all this sorts of crazy stuff like the rapture and, you know, like how we need to start the end times by supporting Israel 100%, even though we don't actually support Israel because we don't actually support the Jews because in the end times, most of the Jews die. Or they either die or get converted to Christianity, and then Jesus comes back, and everything's fantastic when that happens. But it requires most of the world dying. They literally want to make that happen. That's something Mike Pompeo and John Bolton have talked about. Well, more Mike Pompeo than anything, but Bolton is also insane. So here we are. We're letting this entire situation, this entire region fall to shit. Why? Because Donald Trump is an idiot. And he's surrounded by insane fundamentalist right-wing neocons. And of course, egged on by Israel. And of course, what did Israel do? Benjamin Netanyahu, he's the right-wing leader of Israel. He, of course, stays in power because of war, because of conflict. Of course, Israeli defense contractors, they absolutely love war, just like American defense contractors, et cetera, et cetera. They use this, they set up this PowerPoint in order to get Trump to pull out of the deal. So, I mean, and look, this was in English, this was big, bold letters and pictures and everything. You know he was telegraphing that to Donald Trump. Pull out of the deal, pull out of the deal. They used information from 2007. Why? Because they didn't have any current evidence that Iran had a nuclear weapons program. You know who else also said Iran doesn't have a current nuclear weapons program? The IAEA. The International Atomic Energy Agency. So they go through and they monitor countries to make sure that they don't have nuclear weapons. And they're like, no, they don't have nuclear weapons. They don't have a nuclear weapons program. The deal was actually working. But again, Donald Trump doesn't care. He's an idiot. He's surrounded by neocons. So now, thanks to our actions, we're looking at the potential of a nuclear arms race in the Middle East, in one of the most unstable regions in the world. Congratulations, dumbass. Holy shit. Making it more likely for both Iran and Saudi Arabia to get weapons. I couldn't think of two countries that right now that deserve nuclear weapons less than those two. Or you know what? Maybe I could. The United States and Israel. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.